What if there were no consequences? Or very few? Well, you end up with some good stories, of that I'm certain. You'd probably have much better stories than the ones you're telling now. I mean, you're dragging your body through time, through this world. You're faced with control constantly. Physics, gravity, culture, rules. You're constantly faced with things telling you no. You have capacities, mental, physical, musical, computational, all that shit. Do we use our capacities to fight control? Most of us get a reasonable haircut and spend all of our time also telling ourselves no. We use our minds and our bodies to build even bigger walls than the ones we already have around us. Even worse, we try to keep each other penned in mediocrity, all in the name of avoiding conflicts. Mediocrity needs no help. It's doing fine. Quit helping it. The first order of business is to stop avoiding conflict. Fuckers. You make probably 90% of your decisions in the service of conflict avoidance. But culturally, we are trained to be so precious. We go to amazing lengths to prevent or navigate around conflict. Having no fear of conflict is the very core of confidence. And although it takes a little work, you can realize that confidence calibrates to failure as much as it does to success. It's still confidence. It's just coming from a completely different place. But it may take a minute to get used to the idea. Take a minute. The second order of business is to cultivate your criminal mind. And how, you may ask, do you do that? Well, that's easy. Having a criminal mind is an ancillary benefit to confronting conflict. If you embrace conflict, there are many restrictions that are lifted from you. You are more fluid, you can say what you want, do what you want, but having a criminal mind and actually being a criminal are two different things. It's very important. Having a criminal mind isn't cheating, but it is like having all the answers to the test. Reject the expectations you're given. Play with the rules like a toy. It's got a bad reputation, this criminal mind thing, but it's just a way of problem solving. Critical thinking, kinda. You eliminate variables and crunch the numbers and calculate the odds quick, lightning quick. Done. The combination of a criminal mind and excellent phone skills leaves the keys under the mat of every door. Barnum knew it. But to embrace conflict and cultivate your criminal mind, you can't fear failure. Instead, you must seek it out as if beckoned by a beacon. When failure is thrust upon you, embrace it and take away its power. In fact, flip its power around to your benefit. By twisting its will and defying it, you make it your slave and yourself the master. This book is about how to do that. It's an instruction manual on how to live your life using chicken's disasters as a metric by which to measure success, which of course is failure. You have exponentially more options when you're not afraid of failure. That is, if you can just put your ego aside and not take yourself too seriously doing it. My history is already written in t-shirts. It's better than reading a memoir. A memoir is for people who have a past where their future ought to be. I'm just going to tell you some stories. I'm going to relate amusing experiences that led me to the philosophy that embraces the namesake of this tome. This is a show, not a learning annex class. I come to my ideas through experience. Like all of you, the biggest idea I had, that there are really no consequences. I exploited this to the end, creating some comedic greatness. I was also a failure at most everything else I did, so I recalibrated my machine to seek failure, called it success, confused everyone, and marveled at how it all turned out better than I could ever have imagined, by simply winning. It was all so fun, it was totally illegal. And you can be totally illegal too. do a time check here. Dude, 4 more minutes? Okay. So I think this is a really awesome part of this book is the trademark for fail to win. And so I'm just going to read it for you here because it's kind of great. It is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong man stumbled or how the doer of deeds might have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred with sweat and dust and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, and spends himself in a worthy cause, who, if he wins, knows the triumph of high achievement, and who, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who know either victory nor defeat. And the awesome thing, of course, is that this mark is abandoned and it's dead. So there you go. Failed to win, failed. Thank you.